Am I the asshole for refusing to change my travel plans to accommodate my son's girlfriend who has physical limitations?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like an instant asshole, but let's see.
Like, if you are complaining about a disabled person, fuck you. You know, it doesn't matter. You will look bad. It doesn't matter the
Yeah.
situation. But anyway, let's see. I love camping and hiking on the weekends. My wife always hated it and hardly go. One of my children doesn't like it either, but to my happiness, my children Emma, 25 female, and Mike, 28 male, love it, and we do it several times a year. Mike has been with Jenny, 26 female, for 1 year-ish, and she has some mobility difficulties. She can walk, but no long distances. She's a kind and good girl. We have a great relationship, and because of that, my wife and I invited her to go to the beach with us and the rest of the family.
I'm sorry, that I don't know if it's just me, but why does it sound so condescending? It's like she can walk, but not long distance. But she's a sweet girl, and that's why we invited her anyway. It's like,
And it's like I can really imagine like the disability there, you know, like because I'm a person who can walk but not long distance.
Yeah.
It has also to do like what kind of physical condition she has is
Yeah.
kind of the question I have right now. But anyway, I wanted to go to this beach because of a nearby trail that led to a wonderful beach, and on the second day of the trip, 7 days, I announced that I would do this trail, and Emma agreed to go along. Her boyfriend did too, and I invited Mike to go. Later that day, he pulled me aside asking if we could actually go to another beach accessible by car so Jenny could go too. I said I didn't want to because I wanted to do the trail and see this beach, but that we could do that on another day, but the next day would be this trail. Mike said that Jenny was feeling left out of not being able to participate as my daughter was also taking her boyfriend and she would be left out due to her physical limitations. I pointed out the fact that 4 people besides her weren't going on this hike either, and I'm not refusing to do that, but that tomorrow I had other plans. He said that I should understand her situation and not force a situation in which she is clearly being excluded by physical limitations, and that if that were the case, he wouldn't go either. I agreed and said okay. The next day, by a miracle, my other son wanted to go, and the 4 of us went on this trail. My son barely talked to me properly the whole trip, Jenny too, and when I suggested we go to another beach by car, he said I had some nerve to suggest that after all. My wife and the rest of the family have decided to stay out of this, but I'm at a loss. Am I the asshole?
what is your first thought? Oh, I can't talk anymore.
Well, I was already like ready to judge him when he said the physical limitations thing. But I mean, he was a reasonable, mature man, you know, who just set out clear like his goal or his plan for the trip. And, you know, she wouldn't have been left completely alone because there were also other people who didn't want to go to do this trail and visit this beach.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, I do agree that younger people, like from our generation, as soon as we feel insulted, we do not consider like the context of the situation and how people have also their own right to do the things they can't and want to do. So just because you don't want to or can't do something, why would you ruin or limit other else's plans and happiness to do it, you know?
Yeah. I wasn't the same. I was really like, it was like a ball going back and forth. Like, it was like, asshole. Then, okay, well, I do see your point. And then, okay, asshole maybe, but I'm not sure. Like, okay, it depends a little bit for me on the fact if he actually said when the son was like, could we change, if he actually responded with, but I don't want to, because that would be like not so immature answer, like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But let's pretend he didn't say it exactly like that, but said more so in like, I understand, but we really want to do this. But I mean, he gave an option.
Yeah,
He said,
yeah.
let's do it tomorrow, the other one,
Exactly.
which is perfectly fine, actually.
A
Like,
solution,
okay,
a
sure.
proposal. Yeah.
It would have been an asshole if he would have said
I
like,
know.
no. And especially if he would have said, well, she just has to come. And I mean, if it's her issue, if she cannot. He didn't say
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a little bit baffling to me, the fact that the girlfriend knows she has a limitation, but does expect everyone to make accommodation. I mean, she feels left out, even though not everyone is going, which was a part for me that I'm like, why do I know this drama? And not from my part, but from the other, where someone was angry at me for leaving them out, even though like not even half of the other friends were invited too. It's like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
So honestly, no, he's not the asshole, I think.
Yeah, like
Why-
someone comments, yeah, if Jenny was excluded for several things, it would be totally different. But I do not
Yeah.
see the issue here. There was only one thing that she could not do during a week-long trip,
Yeah.
and she was in good company with those who did not want to go.
Yeah.
For that matter, Mike could have easily taken Jenny to do something on their own as a couple. When I go on family vacations, my husband and I do things on our own and don't need to spend 24/7 with the entire family.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what I always like to do in situations like that is, if you replace the issue that seems like an issue, if it's still the same answer, then it's not about the fact that she's has this limitations. I mean, think about it differently. If, let's say, she was feeling nauseous because she ate something weird and she feels nauseous and she loves to hike, they want to go on that hike now, but she doesn't feel very good, so she tells her like, better stay, and she would demand them to not do the hike because she feels nauseous, and he would be like, no, stay back there with the mother and the rest of the family, we're gonna go on the hike and we're gonna come back. And she would be like, no, you cannot go because I feel nauseous and I feel left out if you go. That would also be ridiculous. That would be super ridiculous. It was like, but if you don't feel well, we can still repeat it tomorrow again, but why should everyone cancel the plans because you don't feel well enough? And obviously it's a silly comparison, but it is in a way the same comparison, because it's just one thing where he didn't even deny you that they cannot do something together. He just said tomorrow, like, let me do this one thing
Exactly.
and you can join the other day. Like, yeah, it's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, so in other words, no, OP, you are not the asshole for, wanting to do
surprisingly
something.
not.
Surprisingly not.
Yeah, yeah.
Given by the title, I could have thought first that you were the asshole. But fortunately, no.